My name is Endevar, and this is all the mods 10 to the sky. And last time we got the fissile fuel production going, and I'm pleased to say we do have a full chemical tank of that, so this setup should be more than good enough for what I want to do. And today we're going to put this to use and get the reactor set up. But before we do that, let's just have a look at a couple of things that I've done between episodes. So at the end of the last one, after getting that done, we did a couple of extra things, including getting the witches so we could do the sentient enders. And I did have a load of random soul vials, and I couldn't automate it because they're all at different health and the patterns just wouldn't work for it. So what I've done is manually gone through that and done all of the sentient enders. So we have 32 of those now. I say all, but we've only got 32. We need 36 to craft the 18 philosopher's fuel that we need. So I've got most of those done now, but what I did also to make that process a little bit easier was craft a powered spawner, which is what we've got here. So I am going to get that set up at some point. So I'll probably do that down here. We can have that automatically go into a soul binder, probably a separate one, just to keep things nice and simple. But the process of doing that was a bit eventful, and unfortunately I didn't record any of it, and actually I didn't even notice the problem. So what I did was I put my last blaze spawner down here so I could convert it into a witch one, but unfortunately some blaze did spawn straight away and they shot at me a little bit, but I didn't see any damage. So I got that broken and converted it into the powered spawner, nice and simple. But quite a while later, after I'd done a few other things, I came in here and most of this was burnt down. It was like a big pile of ash because that's what happens in this pack. So yeah, it was a bit of a problem. So I did take the time to tidy this area up a little bit. You notice that the staircase has gone now, which covered like most of this spot down here, and that does mean we can see all this junk behind it, but it has opened this area up quite a lot, so I can definitely make some changes here. So instead of having the staircase there, what I've done is started building it outside, and this is going to go up here now and then into this central tunnel, so it just incorporates the starter house with this a lot better, I think. Now, it's not going to be outside. We are going to have like a building around here. Probably do something similar to this so we can go along here. Maybe have something at the top as well so it like goes around here. We could have like a staircase up from here up to that bit. So yeah, there's a couple of options, but we've got that tidied up. And you'll also notice there was a big cable going up here. I think it was from this point here going up to this up here. So I've got rid of that as well because the cables around here was annoying me a little bit. I think the stuff that we've got going that way, it works really well, but all the other stuff is a bit rubbish. So what I've done is extended the cable down here under the one that goes into all these drives. That's the blue one there from the P2P. I've just extended that going all the way up this tower. So it's nice and hidden on this floor, but once we get up here, we can see it. So I'm going to have to build something around this, maybe just use some cable side or something. So get up here. This just goes into this one now, and I have another P2P tunnel, and this green line goes to my reactors, so this is providing all the stuff that they need in there. And then it's also connected to the mob farm storage over here, which still needs addressing, and I will get to that. But what we have here is a sub-network, so all that is separate. And then we have a storage bus on the bottom, so my main storage can access that. But then we also have a few other like exporters and importers going directly into the main system as well. So it is a bit janky at the minute, and I will get that sorted. But if we just go up to the top, I also got rid of the wireless that we set up last time, or the time before that actually. And yeah, so we just have that same cable coming up here, and I've got rid of the wireless, and we just have another P2P tunnel here. So it's basically the same thing. We have 32 channels coming up, and that gets split off into the Ortec stuff. So that's all sorted, and that's all I've done really, apart from set up the area that we're going to use today. And I've even set up one of these things. So if we come across to the fission reactor, there should be some mobs spawning around here as well, because I want to actually use the mobs for something. So if we have a look at the pearls, what I want to use is try and get some zombies. And one has just spawned there on cue. So let's get that. And if we use that, that'll turn it into a player aerial pearl. And now I need to get 18 of these so I can get 18 of the player transmitters. All I'm thinking about, I could probably do with one for actually using rather than just crafting. So I'm going to spend a little bit of time around here, get 18 zombies to spawn. Maybe knock out the rest of these torches as well. I did it down here just so it's nice and separate. But this is the area where I'm going to build the reactor and all the other stuff from the higher tier mechanism. And there we go. We've got a few zombies spawning now. So this should be nice and easy. Can I use it on you? Does that work? Yeah, that'll do. And I think it is just zombies you do this on, isn't it? I don't think it works on anything else. Spider, new. You go here. So yeah, this wasn't my plan to do this, but I forgot to light it up at first, and I thought, yeah, why not? I'll use it to get all of these zombies, and then we can light it up and use it for the mechanism stuff. So, well, three more. That's easy enough, isn't it? Come on, where are we going? 2 more. Come on, zombies. We need more zombies. They're all fighting each other now. Things are going to blow up in a minute. There we go. I knew that was going to happen. Alright, 2 more. We have a zombie. And 1 more. Last zombie. Where are you? there we go, 2 there. Right, that'll do for me. So we have 18 of those pellets now. So now I'm going to go sleep and get rid of those things. Right, so let's put all those in there. And with these aerial pellets, what we can do is craft these into the plate transmitter. So I do have patterns for all of these. So let's just go straight for the top one, I think. Yeah, we need 18 of these nitro ones. So let's just do that. And there'll be quite a lot to do because it's going to have to do a lot of the crystals and stuff. But we should just be able to leave that to do its thing. And I'll get on with it. So yeah, this thing over here is going to kick in and do a few things. But that's alright, we can leave that to do that. And fairly soon we should have those plate transmitters. And why am I doing that? That is for, where is it? This thing here. So for the next emitter, we need the plate transmitter and we need 18 of these. And I'm actually getting there with this one as well. So it's the plate transmitter, the mechanical arm from create, which should be pretty easy to do. I should be able to do that fairly quick. You just need to do the precision mechanism. And then the gravitational modulation unit, we need to do this as well. But for this, we need the jetpack unit. And for that, we need to do the polonium, which we will definitely have today. So after today, we just need to do a bit of create and then we can get this up and running. So definitely getting there now. So the other thing I've done between episodes, just to make the crafting a little bit easier, I've started exporting the lead into here because we're going to need tons of lead. And I've also been using my infusing factories and there's tons of carbon in here as well. And I've used that to do a load of enriched iron, which is the first step towards creating steel. But if we have a look in here, we've got 12,000 of the enriched iron. So we don't just use it for steel, we also need it for crafting the reactor glass, which we're going to need an absolute ton of. I think 12,000 is going to be way over the top because we don't need, what's that going to be, 3,000 reactor glass? Yeah, don't need that much. But that's just one thing ticks off the list and should make the crafting a little bit easier. One of the main things we need to do now is set up a quantum entangle porter, and then that is going to allow us to export all the fissile fuel from here over to the reactor. So I don't think I've used any of these yet. So is it going to be nice and simple? Because it's not, right. You know what, I'm going to set up patterns for these because they are going to be quite useful. So we'll have that. We'll do one for the teleportation core as well. On cost amount patterns. So we'll have one on you. And I have patterns for the ultimate control circuits as well. But the thing is, I haven't automated the alloys yet. So that could be a problem later. But I have also, between episodes, I set this little thing up over here as well. I've been doing the control circuits and the basic alloys in here. And we can use those to craft up the higher tier. So we'll see how that goes. But I may need to manually do some of the alloys as well. So yes, basic mechanism, not automated. And I'm skipping straight to the advanced stuff. So we'll see how it goes. Put these patterns into here. And let's get a couple of quantum entangle porters. Oh no, I do have one there anyway. Okay. So let's just get one more of those. Let's have that. And if we put this just down here, and we're going to set the frequency to fissile fuel. And then for the config, let's just get a gas pipe first. Put that there. I'll extract that, and we're going to need we'll get some of these pipe upgrades as well. And that has already kicked in, hasn't it? So it's definitely doing something. No, not you. Do that. So put you in there. And that is taking the fissile fuel into there. Nice. Right, so with that, we can go over to the fission reactor. And yeah, I need to tidy this up now. So I don't know exactly where this is going to go. But if we turn the chunk borders on, I've done this so we can build it just in their own chunks. So we have 3 chunks over here with a little bit around the edge as well. So I don't think I'm going to go max size. We'll maybe do like 14 by 14. So let's just put the quantum entangle porter on here. I'm not going to set it up yet, but it's there for when we need it. So we can set that to the fissile fuel. And we can see we have 8,000 buckets of the fissile fuel in there. So we can just pipe that into the reactor once we're using it. So now, all we need to do really is start crafting the stuff we need. And we don't have the mod in here that tells you the amounts that you need of everything. So that is a little bit annoying. But let's just do a few of these. So I don't know how many I'm going to need. Let's do 200 for now. So the fission reactor casing is like the main border block that we need for this. So let's get a few of those. Oh, this is so quick, isn't it? It's crazy. And then we're going to need, let's get 100 of those. They'll definitely get used. Let's grab all this. And then we need the controller rod assembly. I think we need, what was I going to do? No, tell you what, we'll come back to that. I'll figure out how many I need. So let's go and build this. So we're going to do it centered on a chunk. So this would be 16 by 16. So if I go in one like this and go like that, that is going to be a 14 by 14. Because we don't need to go crazy big for this. We're not using this for power really. And the great thing about this is when it's going to be so easy to set up even without the turbine. Because we can use the integrated dynamics pipes and just crank up how fast it pumps the water in. And then we don't need to worry about the turbine pumping the water back. So it's really simple setup. We are going to use the turbine as well, but that is mainly for the SPS. And I've just realised I don't want to do this in the middle of the way. I actually want to do this at one side and have the turbine in the middle and then the SPS at the other end. Does it matter? Does it really matter? No. Let's just go with this. We can pipe everything around. It's not a problem. Right, so I don't know why I'm placing these one block at a time, because we have sticks, don't we? So let's get my netherite stick and just put these down like this, like that. Now I got 4 left. So yeah, that used up most of that. So let's just get another 100 of those. All right, and those are the plate transmitters done now. Nice. So let's have view. Right, so I need to go up. I'm going to go up to the max height I can do this as well, so I can turn the chunk borders off now. So I've got one there, and I can go up 18 high. So let's just get 17 there, just so I get this right. There we go. Right, so we just need to do this all the way around the edge. Right, and we'll run out there, but we're pretty close now. So if we just get another 12 of these, I do actually think I need them to make this all die. So let's get a couple more. Let's get 20 of those. So 12 of them should go in here. Like that. And then we can use the rest to make these, can't we? So if we just do 4 of these, that should use up the rest. Oh no, it's probably going to craft those now, isn't it? Never mind. Right, so I'll have those. And then I also want the reactor glass as well. And I've just worked out for this, I need about 900 for this, I think 912 to fill everything in. So let's just get 1,000, because we're going to use it for the SPS and some other stuff as well. So yeah, 1,000 isn't going to be enough in the long run, but we'll just do that for now. There we go. So we'll grab all this, because it's going to be used. Actually, no, I don't need to do that. I can use my building gadget. So I'll just get the first lot. And I really should have lit everything up first, shouldn't I? Let's go have a little sleep. I'll come back to this. Right, so sleep done. Lighting up done, and I've had a little bit of a change of plan. Only slightly. I've dropped this down to a 13 by 13, and that is basically so I can make it an odd number, because as with all things in Minecraft, odd numbers are better. So I've done that as a 13 by 13, and I've got the first layer of these fission fuel assemblies in, and there's 61 on each layer, and we need to do, as this is an 18 high, we take off the bottom and the top, that leaves 16 layers, but then we need to have the control rod assembly on the last layer, so we need 15 layers of these. So 15 times 61 is 915. I've already done one layer, so that takes us down to 854, and I have 39 left, so that means we need another 815 of these crafting. So let's do that. And no, I didn't do all that in my head if you're thinking that, because no, just no. Anyway, alright, 815 of those, that should be instant. There we go. So let's take all those, and if I now just use my netherite stick and just pillar up with these, I should end up with a 2-block gap at the top of there. So let's do this. Is it going to work? What we're left? That's looking about right, isn't it? Yes, there we go. So we can put the control rod assemblies on top of here, and then the reactor glass at the top, and we're done. Right, so it's easy as that. Now, obviously, having something like this makes it much easier. I have built a big one like this in Mechanism, had to place them all one by one, and that's not fun, I'll tell you that. Right, so we now want the, what they call control rod assemblies. So 61 of these. Okay, so let's have that. And I think if I put that in my offhand, and do the same thing, I'll do that. And now with the reactor glass, oh look, it's already night time again, I've been messing about for so long. Okay, so what I can do with this is if I just shift right click there, and here comes the rain as well, brilliant. Right, so I can just put all this in like this, because I have a ton of it. Might actually be easier if I just get this in my inventory and do it with the netherite stick. I've got the pots on me anyway, haven't I? So let's grab all that. I don't need as much now because I've reduced the size a little bit. So if we go from the bottom, it should do all 4 sides at the same time, I think. So let's go like this. I know that, yeah, it's doing everything, isn't it? So let's go do, and oh my god, I didn't have enough. I thought I had enough there. Okay, let's get some more. Oh no, I did craft it, just didn't get it. You and you, right? So has that formed? Is that valid? It is not. What is going on there? Have I missed something? Don't think there's any glass missing anywhere. I don't think you need to put the ports in for it to work. So let's just... But let's try that anyway. You go there. Oh, no, I did need the port in. Right, okay. So we now have a valid fission reactor there. So we can pipe the fuel into here. And then we also need an input for the water, an output for the waste, and an output for the steam. So we need to have 4 on here. So I'm going to do the water above because we don't need to worry about it so much. And then we'll have whichever way the steam's going. So we'll do the turbine at this side. So we'll put the one in for the steam here, and then we'll process everything out. Oh, actually, should we do it at the front? I'm calling this front because that's where it's going in. Yeah, should we do the... No, I don't know. No. Let's do it at this side because then... Yeah, let's process it at this side because then this will then go into the SPS, won't it? Which we're going to put over this side as well. So let's put that there. Now, I need to take my configurator. I have a few in there. Probably got those from quests. Changes to wrench. Or do I want to do that? Yeah, let's see what happens. So if we just shift right click... No, that's taken it out. I knew that was going to happen. Right, so shift right click on that. And that's going to change that output to waste, which is what I want. These two are on input, and then I want to do this one to output coolant. So the really easy thing with this is if we get a trash can, but the fluid trash can. Even though this is a gas, we put this into a fluid trash can. So let's get one of those. Now, the confusing thing here is you need to put this straight on it. If you were to put a pipe on there is no pipe that can keep up with this fast enough. Even with the integrated dynamics ones, they just don't work. So if you put that straight on there, anything that this produces will just instantly get put into there. Right, I need to fall asleep. Rain annoying me. Right, so rain's gone away. Now we'll get some water. So we just need a sink. So that. I'm going to put this above here like that. And we're going to get a logic cable from integrated dynamics. And then we also need a fluid interface. This thing here. And then a fluid importer as well. This one. So let's have that, and we also, I believe we need a variable card as well, but let's just, yeah, I've got some anyway, so let's grab that. Right, so these things are really crazy, because you can just basically set the rate that you want it to transfer, and you can go really, really high. So we're going to put that there. I'm going to put a fluid interface on the reactor port, and then a fluid importer on this. As you can see, it's not doing anything at the minute, because you can't just put the pipes down, you need to set them up to do something. So we're going to import all fluids. And then if we go across the fluid transfer rate, we can set this to a crazy high number. And you can just basically keep that. You can go to a max integer size, which is, what, 2 billion something, isn't it? So if we just go, just put a load of zeros on. That's not the maximum, but it's just so that if I went too far, there's a cross, just delete one. That'll do. Okay, so that's there. And we just need to make sure we put that in there. And then that just fills up pretty much instantly. So we can check on that again, make sure that that's set properly. Yeah, well, that's crazy. Fluid transfer rate, that will just keep as much water in there as it needs, even if we set this really high. So last thing we need to do, I suppose we can just pick this up and put this a little bit closer, can't we? So let's put that there, and then we'll set this to output on the top for chemicals, isn't it? So let's get rid of all that, and then we'll output on the top, eject on. And I need a, let's do a mechanism tube. Stick you there. Now that has gone in instantly. So we have full fissile fuel and full water. And we have the steam outputting already. So we can actually activate this now. And we should see some waste going up in there. Now, by default, they're always set to 0.1 millibucket per tick. Now, if we click up here, we can see the max for this is 900. Now, you normally don't want to go too high because it's hard to keep up. But with the way we've got it set up, we should be able to go pretty high. So let's just start at 400, which would normally be a bit crazy. But as you can see, the steam isn't building up, but the nuclear waste is. So that the steam is going straight into there. Now, if that wasn't there, this steam would have filled up by now, and we would already be having problems. So once we get the turbine set up, we will take this off, and we can use the steam to generate power. But for now, we're just going to get rid of it, because all we're really interested in is the nuclear waste. Now, this is filling up fairly quickly, but this is what we want to process. So if we have a look at this, we can turn this into polonium and into plutonium. And with these are the fluid versions. We can use fluorite dust in a pressurized reaction chamber to turn it into polonium, and it's exactly the same with the plutonium. Fluorite dust in a pressurized reaction chamber will give us plutonium pellets. So these things are used for all the crafting. We actually need these first before we can do the SPS, but then if we want to use the QIO drives from, which is like mechanism storage system, we could do that. And then the polonium is used for a lot of other things, including the mecha suit, which is definitely something I want to do. I want to actually try doing the Chaos Guardian with the mecha suit, because I've never done that before. I've always used the unobtainium. So anyway, that's doing its thing. So I suppose now we could just get on with outputting this, can't we? So we're going to use a tube again, but because this is radioactive, we need to put this into a waste barrel, what they call radioactive waste barrel. Yeah, so these just use lead and steel. And I'm just going to use one for this process, but then the spent nuclear waste also needs to go into these as well, and it'll decay in there. The one that's we're going to use for the processing, it doesn't decay in this, so it is safe to use it. So let's just grab 9, so I'll have 1 to output it to, where it won't decay, and then 4 on each side to process it so it can decay. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, don't worry, I will explain. So if I get that there like that, and this is still running, so nuclear waste is now full in there now. So we'll do 2 pipes, because these pipes do hold quite a buffer as well, so they are very handy. So I'm going to do a radioactive waste barrel. I'm going to put that there, and then I have done this too thick so I can go underneath, and that'll start. That's already filled up actually. That's crazy, but it won't decay. That's the great thing about this. So that pipe will start filling up as well, and then once that fills up, that'll back up into there. So what we're going to do is have another pipe here. Get that. You have to be really careful placing these. If you do it wrong and you break it when there's things in it, yeah, you got problems. So I'm not going to, what I need to do is set that to pull from the bottom, but I'm not going to do it yet until I've got everything else sorted. So let's just dig a bit of this out. And I'm going to pretty this area up as well. It's not just going to be stone, but I just want to get it up and running fast. So we'll have this coming out a little bit. We'll go there. 1, 2, 3, go 4. Just like that. Now we need to pump these into the 2 machines that we just said. So we need plutonium, we need the isotopic centrifuge, which we've used for the fissile fuel already. And the other one is the solar neutron activator. And this one does need sky access, so you can't put this inside. Or if you do, you need to just give it 1 block of sky access. So let's craft those up. So I want the solar neutron activator, this thing here. Now can I do it all? Yeah. So let's have you. And this one doesn't need powering because it's just powered by the sun. So we can put that one there like that. And then once this is pulling out from there, that'll go into that. And the other thing was the isotopic centrifuge, wasn't it? So let's get one of those. And I already have a pattern for it. Nice. So let's get that. And then we'll put that one there. Now this one does need powering. So we'll just put a gate on the back of here. Like that. But that doesn't like that, does it? Why is that not getting power? Let's just stop that for a minute. I need to go check on my power situation, because that's not good. What's going on there? Why am I using tons of power? I don't even know what's happening with that. So what we can do though is if we set that to pull, that will actually start doing this thing. So because it's daytime, this will do it as well, and that is already full of polonium. That is really fast, and I think you can only can't upgrade that one. This one you can upgrade, but that's not doing much because it hasn't got any power, and that's alright. I need to figure out what's going on with power. Right, I think I figured it out, and I think these things are the problem. The isotopic centrifuge. I've got one of these producing my fissile fuel, and I had it fully upgraded with 8 speed upgrades, but I've taken 4 of those out now, and the power is going back up, and it doesn't seem to be a problem because the fissile fuel in here is still going up, so it's more than keeping up with what. Actually no, it's not using anything, is it? So yeah, it's going down now, so we may have a bit of an issue there with not having enough fuel, so I'm gonna have to tweak that. But once we get some power produced from this, we should be able to power these from this, so that shouldn't be so much of a problem. But I haven't got any speed upgrades in this, and I don't think I'm going to, because the plutonium is not that big a deal. It's more the polonium that we need. So now we've got that up and running, well, I'm just going to turn this off while I do that. So I've got everything going in there, nuclear waste is going in, and we've got polonium and the plutonium being produced. So from there, we just need 2 pressurized reaction chambers, which I would have thought I had a pattern for, but I don't do I. So let's get all this going. And then I want another one of those. Let's have that. And now we can just put these down in front of here like that. And that is already outputting into there, and I'm hoping this one is doing the same thing as well. Yeah, so that's going in there. And the only other thing we need is water to go into both of these. So I'm going to do the exact same thing with the sink. So we'll put that, let's just get a bucket of water, like that. And then we can just get some pipes, and we might as well use the mechanism pipes, just so everything looks the same. I'll get the ultimate ones. Of course, why not? Do that. And set that to output. And now, that has water and plutonium, and this has water and polonium. So the only other thing this needs is the fluorite dust. So the fluorite dust, we can just do that in a crusher, and I've probably already got the recipe for it. Oh yes, I have, brilliant. So what I'm going to do is export this into, I don't have any AE2 stuff over here though, do I? Alright, we'll sort that out in a minute. But what I'm going to do is put a modular router here, and have it send it wirelessly into these 2 pressurized reaction chambers. So let's get that bit set up first, and then we can worry about how we're going to get everything over here. So we'll put that there, and then we want let's get a puller I don't know where it's going to pull from at the minute, but let's get that, and then get a distributor module as well. So with these, we're just going to go you and you, and that's going to send the fluorite dust into there. So let's get some of that first. Let's get a bit of that going. Right, so if we put that into there, that's going to send it to those. Speed upgrades for this as well. I don't know why I did that many, because I need 9. So yeah, that's going to fly through there. And this just needs powering as well, doesn't it? So have you on there. I probably should have done this from underneath, but never mind. I'll do that. But we are going to get the spent nuclear waste in here as well, so we need to output this and get rid of it. So let's... what we're doing... Actually, no. I'm not going to do it from underneath. I'm going to do it on top. So let's have you like that. And then 4 there. And I'm going to put these down. I need the tubes die, so let's stick that. Oh, yeah, let's put the gate on top. And then we can output this to the side like that. Yeah, so that's putting the spent nuclear waste in there, and it will actually decay in here as well. As you can see there, that is actually going down. So that's good. So we just need to make sure I've got enough to be able to keep up with how much it's producing. So we'll do the same over here as well, and I will need to change the config of this one because it automatically defaults to output to the right. So I'll need to change that. Ooh, that's quite a lot in there, isn't it? Let's output to the right. Like that. Oh, gases output to the right. Yeah, so none in there now. Okay, so that's it. We've got some plutonium in there, and we've got the polonium pellets in there. So that is basically the whole setup. We just need to automate the fluorite dust, get that sent into here. So I think I'm just going to do that with A2. Probably wireless. I know I said I'm not going to do much wireless, but I don't really think I need that much over here, really. So I'll get wireless set up. We can just have it in an interface, can't we? And get it to pull from there. And that'll be the whole thing done. And then we can also get this to pull these back as well and send it to the system. But for now, let's just grab them manually, because I should get quests for those. There we go. Nice. So that's doing all right. That's doing its thing. And yeah, this isn't even active at the minute. It's just working through the backlog that was already in there. So do we have anything else? No. So that's already running out. And that's got a bit still going. There is still nuclear waste in there, though. That's not doing much, though, is it? Oh, no, I suppose, yeah, it's just not going very fast. Maybe you could put a couple of speed upgrades in there. Not too many, because it will break it. So, yes, let's just go with 2. Oh, it's energy upgrades as well. Definitely want those in. And I did have 8 energy upgrades in my other one, but the 8 speed upgrades, it was just too much. So, yeah, that's doing this thing. Right, so I'll get that wireless sorted, and then we can have a look at the final setup. Okay, so there we are. Not much has changed. All I've done is set up this wireless connector over here, got that wired up, and we have one dense smart cable going to an interface. That's stocking the fluorite dust, and then this is pulling from the interface and sending it to these 2 machines. And what I've also done is set this to redstone mode as well. So if I flick this off, this now will not send fluorite dust to this. So when this runs out of fluorite dust, the polonium will back up, and this is what I need to send over to the SPS so we can get the antimatter. So it's always a bit tricky when you've got it auto processing like this to then send it into the SPS, but I think that is a pretty decent solution. So I'm going to leave it on for now because I'm just generating the polonium and the plutonium at the minute. And if we have a look, we've got over 2,000 of polonium in there and almost 200 plutonium. So that is really good. We can use this to craft what we need for the SPS. Let's just have a look. And we don't need a lot of these, wherever they are. Yeah, these things here. So it's 4 polonium and 1 plutonium, and that'll give us an SPS casing, but we also need to get the HTTP set up for that as well. So we will do this probably next time so we can get this up and running, but I also want to do the turbines as well, so I don't know if I can do all that in one, but we're getting there. And now you'll just see this behind me, and this I'm basically just trying to mark out where everything's going. So I've put a ton of sea lanterns down, mainly so I can get rid of these torches, which I haven't. And then this is basically just mocking up where the SPS is going to go. I've got the structural glass in because that's what we need for that, but then this is going to be the SPS casing, which I haven't got yet. So I'm just marking out where it's going to be, just trying to get the layout of it. And I've also started building the turbine over here. Not that I'm going to do it now, I just wanted to get a feel for it. But I've also been playing a little bit in creative, and if we have a look at the max, but actually let's just activate this so we can see, yeah, the heating rate is basically 28,000 buckets per tick, which is crazy. So I don't think I can get even a max size turbine to go at that flow rate. So I think I'm going to need to do 2 of them. So I'm going to have a play in creative between episodes and try and figure out a decent setup for this. But yeah, this is basically just going absolutely crazy. I don't know if it's been tweaked for this pack or it's just really easy because it's so easy to get the water in. Yeah, maybe that skewed it a little bit and I'm remembering it wrong. But we're definitely going to be able to generate tons of power if we can have 2 pretty decent turbines around this size. So we'll get on with that next time, definitely, and hopefully the SPS as well, but that means doing the HDPE. So quite a lot of mechanism stuff to do, but I am quite excited to get it done because then we can get into the antimatter and do a few other things. But I don't think there was anything else we could do with the polonium just to finish off, was there? It's just the SPS really. And I think we could... There's the mecha suit as well, but we also need antimatter for that first. I do have one piece, but I don't really want to use it for this. I suppose we could do this, and that can... I think that can store polonium and stuff in it. What else we got? Yeah, there's nothing else I really want to do with that, I don't think. We also need to get the induction cells going as well, so that means getting the lithium setup going. So yeah, I'll probably do that over here as well. Nice to keep it all together. But I think... as the sun is setting, that's a good time to leave it. We've done very well getting this reactor set up and the polonium and the plutonium auto processing. So very happy about that. And this is a good first step. And it's going to give us a crazy amount of power eventually and all the other stuff that we can get from it. So I'll leave it there. But if you have enjoyed this episode, please do leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more. And I'll see you again next time. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye bye.